Cryptoslo, cryptocurrency news and investing.
Cryptoslo, more crypto gains. What's going on, guys? It's finally here. Zen minting on Base. It launches tomorrow, Friday, August 25th. And the question is, should you bother minting on Base? I've seen a lot of FUD, and many people are like, it's not worth my time, blah, blah, blah. Everything that Jack's built, it just goes down. But again, I'm going to give out some strategies here. You have to realize this is about adoption of a crypto and a fair distribution of coins, number one. So it's really not expected that you're going to make money. Number two, there have been, and I know this for a fact, a select amount of few people that made a ton of money on DXN and on ETH. The question is, how did they do it? They did it because they used coin tools. So coin tools gave a small batch of people that trusted it a huge advantage, a 3-month advantage over the NFT launch, and they basically just dumped into the FOMO of everyone that was minting the NFTs. Okay, number two. So there were people that made money. Number three, there are strategies taking coin tools out of the equation, aka pulse chain. I'm not a big pulse chain person. I had some PRC20s that I got for free, and I minted some PZen, and I implemented a strategy, and basically I've been accumulating Centurions on pulse chain basically for free. I'm getting about 3 or 4 for each one of my mints that come due, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So that's, and I'll cover that strategy here in a minute. So there's a lot of FUD, like I said, and there's a lot of people that are bearish and are like, it's not worth my time. But keep in mind, it's about getting a position. And if you do this right, and you're one of the few, you might be able to generate Centurions. My main strategy always and is with Zen is max minting. It's going to be painful. I posted my price prediction a long time ago of 6 zeros and a 3. I still think Zen could go down even further than what it is now. Okay, but here's the problem. It's in a way artificially held up because it only can go so low once the pools become super illiquid, and then you really can't sell and move the price, and you really can't buy and move the price that much. It takes a lot of economic energy. Okay, and on my ETH mints, I'm still 300% in profit. Okay, now will it be in profit at maturity? I don't know. Like I said, I'm willing to do this for a long time. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, okay? And the goal is accumulation. So let's talk about the numbers. Now, as far as base goes, someone told me in one of the telegrams that the blocks are every 2 seconds, and you know, that gas is going to be super low. Keep in mind, there's still a mempool of some type, and transactions can stack up. So if everybody goes bananas, see, I'm thinking it's almost kind of the contrarian view. Everyone's talking FUD about it, but the reality is, you know, I'm going to be minting. I'm going to be minting. So let's go ahead and mint. Okay, let's do a max. So far, he hasn't really messed with the VMUs. You only get an aquamarine. This is kind of similar to Phantom when it first started. I hit mint. I'm on Base Gorilla, which is the test chain for Base. Now, how much is that mint? Okay, I'm having people tell me that it's gonna be cheap, but based on what the testnet, and I would think the testnet is similar to the regular, it's gonna be expensive. And then if transactions start stacking up, it's going to be even more expensive. It could be several $100s to mint an aquamarine, okay? The only thing I can think of is that people are like, it's cheap to mint. Maybe they're just minting 1, okay? This is 1 VMU, and that was 0.01. Let's see if that's correct. So 0.001. But again, if you crank this baby up to max, it's freaking expensive. Okay, aggressive is 70 and market is 52. So number one, if you're gonna mint, you're gonna have some gotta get some ETH over there, and there's several ways you can do it. You can use Zenify, which I've been talking about, how I've been mining Zenify. You can jump chains. You can go from ETH to ETH base, or you can just send it to the contract and it sends it back to you. There's several articles on it, so everyone knows how to get over to base. I mean, we've been using Friendtech, and it is what it is. So I think it's going to be expensive, but again, I'm basing that on the test net. If for some reason the normal base network is not like the test network, then it will be cheap. If it's cheap, I'll just increase the number of mints that I do. Okay, so let's talk about my strategy. Okay, so here's my strategy. Basically what you have to do is, and I did this on Pulse Chain and it was very successful because it was a fair start, meaning everyone got to start at the same time. Unlike the other chains, the CoinTool people were able to mint mad wallets while everyone else was importing 47,000 wallet keys. So I used a very similar strategy like this on Pulse Chain and it's been very successful. Now, is it a guarantee? No. And could some of the mints be unprofitable? Yes. So 337 days, and then you have your budget. I'm just using 1 ETH. ETH price 1650. Total budget is ETH times that. And then I just take that and divide it, and it gets me about 23 mints. Okay. So, and then let's see. I scaled this out to 23. Okay. So the key point of this strategy is you want to get these mints done as soon as possible. You do the max pain with your budget and then you ride it. Okay, so I mint for a day, I mint 1, I mint for 3 days, I mint this. So basically, effectively, I'm setting up a ladder, and think of it as DCAing. Okay, so on day 1, and then next day I get my base Zen. I'm going to sell it, and then I'm going to generate. Okay, so we'll call this last thing Centurions. Okay, so as I go through this, I will keep flipping this into more and more Centurions. So in essence, I duplicate this whole structure again. Okay, think of it this way. I duplicate the whole structure again, but these will all be 337s. Okay, now where does the strategy fail? Okay, well, the strategy can fail if at some point on this ladder they start to become unprofitable, and at that point people are like, well, I could just abandon the mint. Me personally, I DCA through it. Okay, so let's say that I get to day 130 and all of a sudden this is not a profitable mint. I would simply switch my sell to accumulate. So at this point I would start accumulating, and I would accumulate moving forward. Now, some of these might all of a sudden, because some project comes out or something, sell. So I do this until I get to the end of the first batch of 337s. Okay, and now I have 337-day mints max time coming due to me at the same interval as my original ladder. And this is leveraging time. Most people won't do this because it's the max path of pain. Okay, but the idea is that hopefully you set up a ladder and it can propel you into generating these Centurions. Okay, and you might have some good days in there. So let's say that maybe a 30-day mint produced enough ETH to generate 5 mints, whatever. Then I'll mint 5. And keep in mind, this is kind of mirroring ETH in the VMUs and stuff. So that is an important point, that Base has a good following, and it's going to be interesting to see how they react when this thing hits. But so that is my strategy. In summary, I do believe it's worth minting on Base because I want a position. Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean I'll make a profit. The idea for me is not to make a profit. It is to generate staggered centurions after that first 337 days that I have coming due, and then this just perpetuates. And then, I've got a massive position. So after this point, hopefully we've had some price appreciation, and maybe I only have to sell every fifth one to keep generating more 337s. So, well, it won't be 337. And keep in mind the early adoption amplifier. People love that because it gets you extra coins. So people are going to be all over it. Now, if for some reason this was the cost goes down dramatically, okay, let's say it's 50, then I can get 33 on my initial ladder, okay? So I would probably maybe go like 5, 3, 2, 1, something like that. Okay, so I would go hard, and I would get more mints. Okay, but the important thing is that you set a budget for yourself. Number one, and number two, have your ETH on Base already over there, bridge chilling. Because you don't want to be caught when the launch happens, and now, if for some reason on day one, this is astronomical, 300, there's a likelihood I'll hold off for a day or two and I'll check back. Because the mempool, if it gets spammed with bots and stuff, could still be very full. And again, I'm not going super crazy. I'm setting 1 ETH. I mean, that was like a day of divs, from some of my other projects. So I'm just like, okay, I definitely want to participate because I think every chain, or at least most of the chains, will get their shine at some point. It could be at different times. And then there was a rumor that DXN might launch at the same time as this. Now, if that was the case, I would crank this up to like 20, and I would go hard on DXN. But yeah, so hope you enjoyed my video tonight. Not financial advice. Again, my goal is accumulating a position, and that's always been on my goal on Zen. Ultimately, I want to make money, but there's a road that you have to travel down to get to that point. So, hope you liked tonight's video. Like, subscribe. As always, this is Cryptoslo. If you're not talking gains, then we're not talking.